everybody. It's Michelle LaVore and
Devin LaVore
coming at you. And so this is kind of it's really a part 2 to our previous video, which will be titled
Something.
Yeah. We haven't actually edited it yet.
No, I think I put on there like working through the pain or something like that. You will have already watched it by then.
Yeah.
Or by now.
Anyway.
We filmed that on Tuesday.
Yeah, we filmed that on Tuesday. And this we're filming on Thursday afternoon. But it's what happened yesterday.
We got to tell you what happened Wednesday.
And just what God did.
Because we were talking about pain and working through the pain and the joy that's set before you and all that stuff.
And how do you keep a good perspective? And it was just so awesome. It really is. This is, for me, just a great breakthrough story.
It really is.
And so yesterday...
We should put it in our breakthrough story, but we can't.
Yeah. So yesterday, it was, again, we were doing business things. We had to get a different van. And so we basically spent 3 hours of our day having to return one van and get another van from a different rental place because the place that we were using is no longer going to rent to us.
They don't want to rent to us because it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
is really what it is. I'm like, really, guys? We've had this exact same van since December 18th, and now because there's like a pre-authorization thing going on with our bank and all that, they're like, well, the branch manager was probably just like, we're not doing this anymore without a. It was one little slip up that was their fault.
Yeah.
But I was just like, the Lord was just like, let's see this from His perspective. This is Him closing the door.
Yeah.
And so He can open up another one. So intro baby.
Yay.
And continue, Michelle. Go ahead. I interrupted with my little ranting frustration.
Yeah. So anyway, we got lost on trying to find this other rental place, and it was just stressful. And once again, it was like, man, Lord, I'm really not liking how things are going. And
that's really, really understating the feeling and the emotion and everything that was going on.
So basically, like, we're finally all back in one van, and I was just like, wow, I am so ready to just throw in the towel.
Yeah.
But then there's no towel for us to throw in. Yeah. Like, it's not like we can be like, okay, we're done trying this, let's just go home.
We're just going to go back to Kansas City.
It's like, there is no home. There is no place to go. And I was just like, wow, Lord, I'm so tired. And I really was literally tired.
Yeah, you're physically tired.
I was hungry.
Tired on every level.
Yeah.
Basically.
But we get back, and it was just like, I was able to get some food, which actually did help. But I felt like God just, he broke in for me. And we had been talking a little bit.
It was kind of an all of a sudden thing, wasn't it?
It really was.
It was a suddenly.
I really
you
was
were not anticipating this.
I wasn't expecting it. But it was just like, man, like, God really is providing. It's not been the way that we thought it would be. It's everything has been different, but I really did. It was like I was able to, God allowed me to come to a point where it was just like, I'm okay. I'm okay with the way things are, and I know that it's for my good. And
can I give a little backdrop?
Yeah.
Because I really want to drive this point home, because I think people need to understand the level, why we're calling this a major breakthrough, and why it's considered to be a major breakthrough. Because, I deal with broken expectations and disappointment pretty decently. And being that we're opposites, that means she's horrible at it. And she had major expectations coming here. Major. We both did.
Yeah.
And God was continuing to share stuff with us, prophetic things. And it's like, the problem with prophetic words is you don't know when.
Yeah.
Not only do you not know when, you don't know how. and you don't know. There's just so many things that you don't know. Isn't that right, Isaiah? Amen, brother. And so since we've gotten here, and we've been here since December 18th. We got here December 18th, 8:44. We made a video about it. Mm-hmm. Since that moment, there's been a perpetual kind of like, what's going on? And then we had to start, we were having issues with the hotel. We were having, the van was costing a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's like, the hotel, that door was closing. So it's like, what are we going to do now? Oh, Airbnb. And so we're going from Airbnb to Airbnb to Airbnb to Airbnb. And it's just like, that is a constant like wearing down. It's like the woodpecker on the wood, just like this constant wearing down on her soul, wearing down on her heart. Like, this is nothing like what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Nothing what I thought you said it was going to be, God. It is literally nothing. And I am mad.
Yeah.
And I am sitting, we made a video about that.
Yeah.
You sitting on the park bench and you're just going like, let the opportunity go by. I don't care about no opportunity.
Yeah.
This is messed up.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what you are going to answer me.
Yeah.
That's kind of where she was. And you've been like that for a while. Even though we press on and we soldier on and we do videos, and we are sharing our lives, so it's like, but even in sharing everything that we're going through, it's not like a reality TV show where you get to see all of it happening when it's happening.
Yeah.
And so like for Michelle, she has really been angry.
Yeah.
And upset and resentful and bitter and just all those things that we shouldn't feel as good Christians. Mm-hmm. She was feeling all of them.
I was.
And she was like, give me the super size, because that's how, that's what you were feeling, right?
Yeah,
you were
very much
you were
so.
very angry. It took a while for you to even just say you were angry at God, because here we go again, another Airbnb. Not only that, but it's like we're dependent on offerings for all this to happen, and we're going like, Lord, are people going to like us for that long?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to work, but it's like God just like, no, man, it's going to work.
Yeah.
I am not going to fail you. That's what God said. He's like, I am not going to fail you.
Yeah.
And so all of that taken together, man, it was really creating just a little nasty crock-potted stew of stuff going on inside of Michelle.
Yeah. And like we said in the video from Tuesday, though, like at the same time, God was starting to break in really on Tuesday, like through the Bill Johnson message. Because even that day, I was really still struggling a lot. And then yesterday, it really was just this, you know what, I'm done asking the why.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool because we had a phone conversation with friends of ours, and even just talking with them, like I felt like
Susie
God,
and Will, shout out, fist bump.
I felt like God was even giving me personally like more revelation as far as just what it is He's doing, and I think it's like. We really don't know what God is doing. And, like, it might be a year or two or even 5 years from now. We might look back and be like, wow, thank you, Lord, for doing what it is that you did.
I had no idea that you were setting that up or doing that thing.
And I was just reminded even while I was...
put him down.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, guys. Go ahead, keep going, because this is your story.
So even while I was talking to them, I was reminded of, with David and how he was being pursued by Saul constantly. And so he had to go hide in these caves and throughout the land of Israel. And then when he became king, he knew his land so well. But I don't think he would have ever known the land the way that he did without having to endure what he went through. He certainly never wanted to have Saul being pursuing him to kill him in order for him to go out and do what he did. And yet I think...
Possess this land.
Yeah, and I think that though because of what David went through, he became an even stronger and better king. And it's like for us, I don't know if you all heard Devin in the other room, but he was saying like we have been called to take possession of this land, and to in the sense of representing God here and taking this region for the kingdom of God. And so I think even just, you can see glimpses of just, man, when we're staying in all these different Airbnbs, we're staying in places we would never go to.
All these different caves.
All these, yeah, there really are kind of like different caves, different pockets of areas of the city. And we're really getting, just kind of, in a way, a sense of the different areas. And it's like, okay, Lord, all right, I see that. But it's very uncomfortable. And it's like, because those things are uncomfortable, it's bringing out things in us that would not have been brought out had God not taken us through this path and on this particular journey. And once again, Bill Johnson, he was talking about even like with Pentecost and how, when all these believers, they all came together, but they wanted to stay there. There was just thousands of believers that came from Pentecost.
Yeah.
And
he said as much as like 50,000 or something that came from one message Peter preached.
And it was like, this is awesome. Let's just stay together. But God really...
We build ourselves a little nest of believers.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like church to me.
So he's like, no, God's like, I got to stir up this nest. And so there was persecution. And that's what sent everybody out. And so I just think sometimes in our lives, like God can use negative circumstances or things that are uncomfortable for us.
To push us out.
To get us to fly. To get us to not remain cozy in our nest and honestly bring out more of, what really is going on in our hearts. I feel like I've realized so many just faulty thinking, things that I've built like on my own relationship between myself and God that he's like, that isn't me. You can't be, that's sinking sand that you're trying to build things on, and you need to build it on the rock. But in order for me to know that, he has to show and expose those things that aren't true.
And that's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And it really is. It's like in relationships, you really don't see all of a person, even when you first meet, even after years of knowing each other, because there are so many different kinds of circumstances you can be put into. But it's like, so when you get put into certain situations, things start getting exposed. You might start seeing weaknesses that you didn't even know were there because you've never had to go through it. And I think yesterday it was just like, wow, Lord, thank you so much. The amount of thanksgiving that was just, it's been in my heart, I almost can't really describe it, because it's like, Lord, thank you for walking with me through all of this. He has been there the whole time. He's helped me.
Not holding anything against you.
Yeah,
because he knew what was coming out, because he started the process anyway.
Yeah. But just being there.
I feel like someone needs to hear that, that like the Lord knows like what you were going through and what you're feeling and what and because you're like not talking to him about it. You're kind of like, oh, I've got all this stuff coming up, so I can't go to the Lord with that. And it's like the Lord's the one that's been in there stirring it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He knows, because he wants you to come with him. So don't resist God and not come to him, and get yourself cleaned up first, and then you can come back to the Lord. That's not what he's saying,
No.
He's saying like, yes, I'm stirring all this stuff up to bring it to the top, so you'll let me scoop it out.
Yeah.
It's the dross, the whole refiner's fire dross thing. You know?
And there's been a A lot of that.
There's been a lot of silvery foam. Just scooping it up.
It's
like, wow, that's a lot.
I didn't think
Wow.
there was any more in there, but apparently there's a lot. And but it's just, I think for me, like, God just, I don't know, he gave me a different perspective of what is going on and what he's doing. And then again yesterday we were listening to Lana Vosser. She was on live.
Her live message.
It's very good. I highly suggest it
Yeah.
for anybody.
I would
for
definitely.
For everybody, but
I'm definitely going to link. I'm going to put it in the description this time.
Yeah.
If I remember. If I remember, I'm going to put it in there so you guys can watch that, because it is major. It's a part of the major breakthrough that you probably need if you're struggling with the why God is things happening the way they're happening. I don't understand. It's 2018 and there's no breakthrough or whatever. You know,
and it really comes down to once
great.
again, like, you know, even in that live, she was talking about like basically not asking the why question and being okay with the mystery of things. And she also quotes Bill Johnson in that live video.
I'm
it's
like,
kind
Lord,
of
I'm not sure. Are you speaking something to us? I'm just a little fuzzy.
And he also was just talking about our response in the times when it is the mystery, and how, like, to just continue to worship the Lord even when we're not seeing everything. We don't see everything. We aren't God. And that was something else that Lana had mentioned, was just talking about in her dream about basically like reminding herself that she doesn't know everything. And it's like, wow, that is so true. You don't know everything. And too much, I think, in our culture or our society, like, we expect, and in our human heart, you want to know everything.
Yeah.
You know, and we're kind of trained to say, all right, I need all of the answers filled in. We need everything lined up before we can move forward on something.
Well, because we find comfort in knowing. We find comfort in understanding, because underneath all of that is us having control.
Yeah.
You know, we can see it so well in our daughter's life. She has to know when we're going, where we're going. Wait a minute, you're going this way, it's over there. Why are we going this way? And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How long are we going to be there? And you know what I mean? I got to know all these things so I can have peace by knowing.
Yeah.
And Jesus is saying, no, you have peace because you know me.
Yeah.
Not because you know stuff. You know, things aren't going the way you thought they were supposed to go, even the way I said they are going to go. You know, because God doesn't lie. If he gives you a prophetic word, it's going to happen. But in our mind, like we've talked about many times, we fill in these time gaps with our own personal expectations and all that stuff. And then things aren't happening the way we thought that they were going to happen. And the Lord didn't say anything about it. And he was like, oh yeah, I knew that. I was going to use that to do what I'm doing in you right now. That's why I didn't say anything. Because if I said something before, you would have gone another way. And I would have been like, oh man, what am I going to do now? Not that God's ever befuddled, but but you know what I'm saying? It's like we find too much comfort in knowing.
Yeah.
And once we know, then we have a sense of control, and then that gives us a sense of peace and comfort. And it has nothing to do with knowing Jesus. It has to do with knowing the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's just once again, like, being like, okay, there's actually beauty in the mystery. There's great things that you can learn from God in the not knowing, and to be okay with not knowing. I think that really was where I got yesterday. It was just like, you know what, I am okay. I am gonna praise the Lord. And it wasn't let me muster myself up to be okay. It was because God broke through, and it's just like, you know what? God is awesome. He is taking care of us, and if this is how he wants to walk
in
and
crazy
move
ways
in our life,
unbelievable.
then that's how he's doing things. And he's always moving. He's always going forward. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be in this situation forever. But at the same time, we can see the glory of who he is in our situation every time he provides. Every time he's like, you know, we're literally like on the edge and we're stepping forward,
all the time.
And then the water parts.
All the time.
And that really has been, I mean, that we got that right before we left, that the water will not touch us. And the picture of taking steps in the water parting as we're taking steps. And
yeah, I'm getting ready to take it in the vision, because in vision, I'm getting ready to take a step onto the water that's not supposed to touch me. And I'm like, okay. And I take a step and the water just moves away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But then there's always just more water just beyond my foot, maybe like a foot beyond my foot.
Yeah.
There's more, and I'm just like, and that's what we've been feeling, that sense of like, oh my gosh, more adversity. And the truth of the matter is, if you look at it from God's perspective, because what I saw recently in reference to that vision was there was just this, I don't want to say a glow around me, but it was almost like a visible air. I don't, if that makes sense. It was like if the air could somehow be so thick that it becomes visible, kind of like a cloud, I guess, a very thin cloud. It was surrounding my whole body. And God was like, that's why. Mm-hmm. Because it's me on you. My hand is on you. You prayed for it. I'm showing you that it's there. And I'm like, well, I thought it would look different than this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The hand of God is on you to survive. I thought that's what we were coming out of. We were coming out of surviving. Remember that, Lord? You said no from surviving to thriving. Yeah. Is this thriving?
Yeah.
I'm just not sure. You know, because that's the funny part is we ask ourselves those things and we're not laughing about it.
Yeah.
You know, we laugh about it later, but it's like, yeah, so you're always stepping into more adversity. But I feel like the Lord was saying, like, can I keep going? Because I felt like the Lord has shown me this picture, just like even as we were just sitting here and you were talking, I just felt like the Lord was like, you're following me, right?
Yeah.
And we're going into Nashville, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, I want to take you. Oh, Jesus. I want to take you to some places. Come on, let's go. You're following me, right? I'm going to take you to some places. And I'm going to show you some stuff that's on my heart, you know? And a lot of times we miss the things that are on God's heart because we're so busy trying to create our own new thing, our own new nest, and get our own new friends that all think like us and believe like us, and you're just trying to recreate the very problem that exists in the American church right now, which is what's making it ineffective. Which is why there's mass exodus of American church right now. Christians all over the place not going to church because they're missing God. They're missing his heart because we're so busy trying to create our own little comfortable life, you know? And am I saying that God's not for our comfort? No, I'm not saying that. Am I saying that, well, God doesn't really care about your wants? He only cares about your needs? I made a video about that a long time ago. That's not true. It's just, if you really, really, really want to know who Jesus is and what his heart is all about, you just have to follow him. And in following him, he's going to take you some places that were not on your agenda of your dream list. He's going to take you to some places that weren't on your itinerary of how God was supposed to do things in your life. And the reason I just get really just choked up about it is because just today, because we're in a place right now that might be considered the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're in a place right now that it's like not a great neighborhood. No one would just come and vacation here.
Yeah.
No one. But the Lord brought us here. And I don't know if I want to share this actually, because it might be a word for later. But the whole thing, I mean. But God just showed me some stuff today. And he talked to me about leper colonies. And he said there are a ton of leper colonies within the church. There's a ton of leper colonies within the church. And I'm like, Lord, well, what do you mean? I guess I'm going to share it. Like, well, what do you mean by that? He's like, the people that you don't want to go near. The people that you don't want to touch. The people that, and we're living in one of those leper colonies right now. This is a leper colony. No one wants to come here. Even the people that live here are trying to get out. You know what I mean? And it's like, not necessarily in this particular house, but I'm just saying in this area. No one wants to live in the ghetto.
Yeah.
People want to get out. And it's like, and I felt like the Lord was saying, there's tons of leper colonies all over the place. And I'm like, Lord, and you brought us here. It was just, oh man, it messes me up. Because it's like, you brought us here because these are people that you died for. These are people created in your image. All of them, you love them. Whatever kind of teaching and wealth of knowledge that has been imparted to you by your books and your education and just your walk with the Lord and all that regarding God's heart for you, it is the exact same God who has that heart for the leper colonies all throughout the earth. For the colonies of people that lots of the church don't want to go and touch or mess with or minister to, or he's got that exact same heart for everybody. Jesus didn't just die for a certain group of people. He died for everybody because he sees everybody with the same amount of value. There's not this diamond and then this diamond. I mean, come on. They're both diamonds. That's the way the Lord is looking at you. He's like, they're both diamonds. This might be a diamond in the rough, but let me shine a little light on you, Christian lady, Christian dude. Oh, that's right. You got some rough spots too, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Just because you look like you got it all together, just because you got some money and you got a nice thing going on and you got some success. No, I'm not dissing any of that. You guys know me, or at least you should by now. I'm not dissing any of that. But the reason why God does what he's doing is, like I always say, he's operating off of knowledge he has. He's operating off of understanding that he has. And he knows that he can take me and Michelle through this and we'll make it through.
Yeah.
But now here comes the breakthrough. Major breakthrough in that, God, we're just okay with you doing it however you want to do it. And I mean, I think I pretty much lived there. I was there a while ago, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn, honk, honk. But I'm just saying, like, I'm so used to this. Thinking God's going to do something, he does something different. It doesn't matter because God's in it and he's going to keep doing his thing and it's going to be good. And see, that's the key of the major breakthrough is like God is doing something and he's doing something good. Even because a lot of times we think it's not what I want, so therefore it's not good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, no, he is doing something good. And then when you really get a chance to see it from his perspective, you go, oh my gosh. I mean, that's what happened to you, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
really
oh
did.
Man. When I was going to the store today, God was like, this is one of my leper colonies. I'm like, what? It's like, no one wants to come and minister to these people. No one wants to come and touch. And Jesus is like, I do.
Yeah.
I want to come. And if you're going to come here in my name and possess this land, you better not forget this area.
Yeah.
This is important to me.
Yeah.
And then God put it on my heart about the homeless, but I'm not going to get into that because there's a huge homeless population here in Nashville. I had no idea. And it's just like, man, I just have a heart for them. I have the heart for Jesus, for these homeless people that are definitely lepers from my past. I never have anything positive. I never have any positive thoughts about homeless people because so much of my past experience has been bad. And a lot of them are just mentally ill, so you can't help them anyway. But that's not the case with these people in Nashville. They're sound of mind. They just don't have any place to live. And I'm just like, we're kind of in the same situation. We are literally like one less offering to our YouTube channel away from being kind of in their position. I mean, we literally could be right where they are, thinking we heard from God, but now I got a family of 6 of us that are homeless. And it's just like, and we kind of are, even though we live in a home and all that. But anyway, I could keep going, but I just hope that that's a 1, 2, 3.
So it's just been, I mean, like you said, you could just keep going on with that.
I had
But
to deal with a little baby situation real quick.
but I think
Baby's puke.
yes. But I don't know. I just pray that this would encourage you guys. I think the biggest thing that I got out of what God has been doing is one, that God, He walks with us. And I feel like I've seen like the beauty of God in the sense of just that He, no matter what I was going through, no matter how hard it has been, He was always there. He is always there. And He's always saying like, I've got you. And He's always inviting. His invitation to come and sit with Him and to be at His feet and to sit at His lap is always available.
And to know what's in His heart, you know.
And it's like, okay, you know, and sometimes I think it really is easy to start to ask the questions of why, and why aren't these things, you know, because usually when you're asking why, it's because you're not happy with what's happened. Nobody ever asks why when good things happen. You just don't.
you just receive it.
You're like,
You're like,
woo,
yeah,
praise the Lord.
awesome.
Like, this
Lord,
is
I
awesome.
really don't understand it. I mean,
Why?
I won the lottery. I don't.
Why
I
did
am-
you let me win the lottery?
I am just not happy with that right now. I don't understand why I won it and someone else did it. I really don't understand that. Yeah, that's
doesn't
never
usually
happened.
But typically, like, when we're asking the why question, it really is, it's a heart, there's just a lot of heart sensitivity that's going on. And so I just would encourage, because I know, I just want to encourage you guys. One is just that God is there and He will bring the breakthrough. You know, I really honestly didn't, I was still struggling with so much stuff even on Tuesday, and He started working on things that night. But then to have yesterday happen where it was just a sudden like, whoa. Like, I literally felt like I could breathe and that the sun was shining again. You know, that the clouds that have been around me for basically since we've gotten here, like 6 weeks ago, had finally, there was ray of sunshine and a ray of hope. And it's just like, it turns everything around.
The sun broke through the clouds.
But it was
That was
God.
a major breakthrough.
It was God that just broke through to my heart. And it's just like, I know He can do it for yours. And I know that the pain can be so, so real. And I think just also in the Lana Vosser word, she just really encouraged people, instead of asking the why, you can just go to God. He wants people to ask who He is. Like, just ask me who I am, not the why. Because
who are you in this situation?
Yeah. Lord? And it's like, we don't understand everything, but the truth is, we are never going to understand everything fully. There is always going to be mystery to our life.
Yeah.
But it's in the mystery, it's in those hidden places that God reveals Himself on our behalf in ways that we would have never seen Him. You know, and so I just think it's important, at least for, like, I know for us in our situation, it's just like, all right, Lord, there is mystery involved, you know, and there's a lot of mystery involved.
I would say so.
But it's like we can find peace with you in the mystery, and we can walk with you through this and just, you know, see what it is you are going to be showing us. And you know, like Devin said, it's like to be able to, or at least for me, to now be able to be beyond the storm clouds and you can see the sun. It's like God is then able to do really what He wanted to do. Really what He wants to do, and for us while we're here, because the perspective isn't all on me and what I'm not getting, and why is it, Lord, that these promises I thought you said were for us aren't coming to pass. And it's really a very self-centered thing, and it's also a self-seeking comfort thing. I think, like you said, like so much of us, we just we're always wanting comfort. We're always wanting to be in places that are safe and secure.
Mm-hmm.
And so much of what God does is the opposite of that. He's asking us to take risks.
Yeah.
He's asking us to go out and believe him for things that are impossible apart from him. And it's like they're uncomfortable, but he wants people who are comfortable with being uncomfortable. And if he has to take us through some really hard things to get us used to the uncomfortable, because that's the truth. It's like, how do you reach those people, the leprosy groups? It's through being comfortable with the aspects of people that are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you can't go there unless you're really you have to find your comfort in God. He has to be your home. So we just pray that you guys are encouraged. Those of you who've made it to the end, congratulations.
You deserve a reward from the Lord.
But just know, it's like God is able to bring breakthrough. He is able to heal your broken heart. He is the healer of broken hearts. And he is the one that can turn our eyes and look and help us to look to him. We just have to go to him.
Yeah.
And just say, Lord, I'm here. I'm opening my heart. Take it. And that's exactly what he'll do. And so that's what we have for you today.
Yeah.
And we're super excited. Tomorrow is going to be our Q&A Friday. So we're going to just run through as many Q&A questions that we can and give answers for the ones that we know. And so until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you very much. Oh, thank you for the support and the comments and the prayers and all that stuff. We appreciate you guys. Love you.
See ya.